Hello everyone, welcome to Rahul Interview Support. In this specific video, let's try to discuss about one of the most frequently asked interview question in Google SRE interviews mainly. What happens when you type google.com in your browser? Okay, almost in every SRE interview when you attend for Google, right, you can expect this question. And I would highly recommend each and every candidates who have this interview, right? You can simply prepare for this specific question. Okay. So, and also, if you need any help with respect to interviews, I will add my contact details in the description of this video. So, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Okay. All right. Let's quickly start. So what happens is the question is that what happens when you type www.google.com in on your browser? Okay, this is the question. Okay, so this is a user, this is a web browser. You will check it. Okay, the first step itself is something called as browser cache. So you might have Chrome browser, Firefox, whatever it is there, right? First it will check in the local cache. It will check if there is something already present. If it is not there, right, then there is a process called as a DNS resolution. So basically, even before that, if you're using Linux systems, there is something called as /etc/host. And if you're using Windows system, you have a similar path. Okay, host file path is there. It will go and check whether the DNS name is mapped to any IP address. So usually when you're running any application on your local environment, right? In such kind of situations, basically you can map it. You don't have to buy a domain name or something. Okay. So if you want more information about this itself is a separate video. We can have it, but for the interview purpose, you don't have to go in that area, but you can simply mention this part. Okay. And then basically what happens is once the browser cache, OS cache, all these things are done, right? It will go and check the routers, and it will go and check your internet service provider DNS, and also it will go and check the root DNS where you have something called as this .com is there, right? .com alternative. So basically what happens is in the root DNS server you will have your IP address and the .com mappings are there. That is what will happen in these two areas. Okay. So for example, www.google.com will have an IP address. Okay. So here there are some of the key concepts like recursive and non-recursive queries, and also DNS caching at multiple levels. All these things you are supposed to go in deeper and understand. But for interview, you can simply know these things. That's more than enough. And what is the forward lookup? So these are some of the things which you are supposed to understand. Once all these things are done, right, then to connect, so there is something called as TCP handshake. TCP handshake in the sense, since if your browser, whenever you type any URL, right, it will work on port 443, which is HTTPS protocol, okay, or else port 80, which is HTTP protocol, okay. So here what happens, your client means your laptop or your browser will send a synchronization request to the server, and server will reply back that, hey, I have received it with an acknowledgement token. And then the client, once it will give, once the server will send it, right, client will also send an acknowledgement that, okay, I have also got it. This is called as three-way handshake. This is like just to make sure that the connection is completely reliable. That is what is going to happen here. Once this part is done, right, this TCP handshake, the next step is like basically we will hit the load balancer. Okay. So this is where actually the routing table and the default gateways, all these things comes into picture. Okay. In this area, we use something called as BGP, broader gateway protocol, ARP resolutions. All these things will happen in this area itself. Okay. And also one more thing is in your HTTP request, you will also have, for example, the moment if these things are successful, right, when the browser will respond. Okay. So for example, here in the web server area, once this step is done in the Nginx server or Apache 2 web server area, right, once it will receive the request, it will create a thread or a process, okay, for your application. If you are doing simple rendering, this is a static website, then it will load it. If it is a dynamic website where you do some kind of backend calls, database callbacks, all these things will happen in the form of threads or process. Once all these things are happened, right, this HTTP response will happen.